Anything that melted yesterday is solidly frozen.
We're staying on top of these road conditions around the triangle.
You can see some of the slick conditions that we continue to see on these secondary and side roads here.
Flights getting back on track today after lots of cancellations over the weekend.
You can see this icy, snowy spot. A 10-year-old boy was exploring the pond around noon Sunday when he fell in.
We're definitely not go anywhere near anything that's frozen or on anything that's frozen.
WRAL News at 8 on Fox 50 starts in less than 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Fox 50. I'm Keely Arthur.
And I'm Ken Smith. We're still seeing the lingering effects of not just this past snowstorm, but last weekend as well.
It needs to melt.
Oh, my goodness. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center tracking our current conditions for us.
Yes, we take a look. It is a WRAL weather alert day. So some of the roads are still slick and covered. Some of them are in fine shape, and Ken's going to talk more about that in just a little bit. Temperatures this morning well into the teens, so it is definitely cold out there. We have a winter weather advisory only for the cold temperatures that are causing slick conditions, not because any additional precipitation is headed our way. And then a cold weather advisory as well with our temperatures in the teens. As a matter of fact, take a look at this. This is a look at Rocky Mountain Mills where they saw 7 or 8 inches of snow there. They plowed it nicely there at Rocky Mountain Mills, but you could still run into some snow in especially neighborhoods. Right now it is 12 in the Triangle, and the last time it was 12 in the Triangle was Christmas Eve of 2022. So it's been a while since our temperature was that cold. A lot of times when we have snow and clear skies, calm winds, boy, the temperatures will really take a dive, and that's what we saw overnight. We're also seeing a wind chill in some places. Look at that. It feels like 4 in Goldsboro. Plenty of snowpack there still. It's 12 in Southern Pines. It feels like 8 in Fayetteville, and it's 14 in South Hills. So it's a very cold start out there. Lots of sunshine today. Eventually will help to melt some of the remaining snow, but we don't climb above freezing until right around lunchtime. We should hit 40 this afternoon. And it is Groundhog Day. We'll take a scientific look at what we could see for the remainder of the season coming up. Ken?
Well, Elizabeth, I remember that Christmas Eve, and we're thinking, if you're going to be this cold, make it a white Christmas. Yeah, we didn't get it. So listen, we're staying on top of these road conditions, starting in Durham, I-40 and Fayetteville Road. You can see all that pavement there. Those roads are free and clear as we bring it back to Wake County, I-40 and Wade Avenue. It's those secondary neighborhood roads where we're seeing the troubled spots. Let's get to our Laura Levine, photographer Mark Alexic, in the WRAL Storm Tracker this morning. They've been chronicling those icy patches there on these neighborhood roads. And set the scene for us where you are, Laura.
Hey, Ken, yes, right now we are in this neighborhood here where you can see some really slick and icy conditions, snow covering many parts of this road here. Very challenging conditions for when you're waking up and seeing something like this. So something to just be mindful of. And then you have some certain areas that are a little bit improved, like you see here, and then once again approaching another slick spot. Something to just keep in mind when you're heading out the door today. Of course, the main road's looking much better compared to this time yesterday. So, of course, just take it easy when you're heading out the door.
Such good advice, really and truly. Leave the house a little sooner than usual this morning. But the good news is we're not seeing any delays on any of our major routes, relatively speaking. A 1-minute delay coming in from Garner, Johnston County there on I-40 westbound. I-87, those southbound lanes free and clear. No delays on US 1 coming in from Wake Forest or even coming in from Apex at US 1 North, and I-40 eastbound delay free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
And as Ken said, give yourself lots of time. Well, NCDOT crews have been working around the clock for days now, treating the roads ahead of time and then clearing the snow and ice after the storm. Joining us now, DOT spokesperson Kim Diener. You've been working around the clock too. Lots of airtime on WRAL. Thank you for joining us, Kim. Let's get right to it. Most of the main highways were cleared yesterday. What's the focus today?
The focus today will be on the primary roads that we were unable to get to yesterday, or roads that were shady and where we were just not, we didn't have the ability for the sun to help get that moisture off the road, and secondary roads and subdivisions. So all of those will be our focus for today, and it will be our focus until they're all cleared. We know a lot of folks are going stir crazy. They want to get out of their driveway. They want to get out of their subdivision. And I know they're antsy, but we are on our way to you. I can guarantee that.
I'm curious, we know municipalities help with clearing ice and snow as well as DOT. If I'm a person, I'm one of those antsy people and I want to get out of my home, I want my secondary road plowed, who do I contact?
Well, you can contact the NCDOT, you can contact your municipality, or this is something you can do. I hate to say this, but you can Google state maintained roads. And if you Google state maintained road, there's a link and you go to that and you can look it up to see if it is us, if we're the ones responsible for clearing your road. And if we are, then you just contact us and we will definitely get to your road. Our plan is to get to all state maintained roads. It's just that it's taking us some time because those secondary roads and the subdivisions still covered with ice and snow. So I think we'll see a huge dent in that today and be finished by it hopefully tomorrow, especially since the weather's going to cooperate nicely. But I think it's more a matter of not necessarily not knowing whose road is maintained by the state or the municipality. It's that it's taking a little while getting to you.
Well, Kim, we know you and the rest of the crews within the DOT are working so hard. Kim Diener joining us this morning. Kim, thank you.
Thank you, Keely. Bye-bye.
Well, you know, winter weather safety extends beyond the roads, right? As people get out and enjoy and get out and sled or do whatever they want to do in the snow. Let's get to WRAL's Ali Candelabar. She's live in Raleigh this morning. Ali, doctors say they're seeing an increased amount of ER visits this week.
And Ken, they've definitely seen that increase over the past 2 weeks. And because of instances of slipping and falling, those are one of the most common reasons. And that's because of slick, icy spots. Not necessarily like this. This is snowy, but you could come across some slick spots even just on a path like this, just right outside your door. And we want to show you just some of those clear streets as well. Some sidewalks are clear, but you just never know what you're going to come across that is icy. And so UNC Health says that they've been busy in the ER treating winter weather related injuries. They say that it's 10 times more than the normal. They also say car crashes, slips and falls, and injuries from sledding are most common. They say that even doing your normal daily tasks, it's important that you be cautious.
The sledding, you know, the big obstacles, you have to make sure you're not going to run into any. And then the other one is wearing a helmet. And finally, you know, there's no brakes. So you want to kind of plan your run expecting that you're not going to be able to stop.
And so that was Dr. Ryan Lamb. He says just make sure you're taking it slow. Be extra cautious when you're heading outside. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Candelabar, WRAL News.
Well, every school district in our area is either closed or remote today. We probably have some happy kids. Now, this is video from Aversboro Elementary in Garner yesterday. Snow covering basically everything in sight. Wake County schools, Durham Public Schools also closed today. Many other districts made the same calls. You can see on your screen lots of red. Johnston and Orange also closed. In our southern counties, though, several districts opting for remote learning instead, including Cumberland and Harnett County schools.
Well, you know, Keely, Duke Energy and other utilities are asking people to conserve energy this morning, as many of the utilities are facing what could be the highest energy demand of the season. The combination of bitter cold temperatures and heavy morning heating demand creating a brief but critical window. The utilities asking customers to cut back on electricity used between 10 o'clock this morning just to help prevent a strain on the grid. Duke Energy says even small steps like delaying appliance use or lowering thermostats slightly could help avoid temporary outages.
Hey, Kim, remember this morning we were telling people about that house collapse that we reported on the other day over in the Outer Banks? Well, get this, 2 additional homes have fallen since then. This is from Donnie Bowers showing us some of the aftermath here, and this is in Buxton specifically. There are 3 different photos that he sent to us. This perspective, and then you have this one right here. We can see it's not too far from what appears to be an end of some sort, and you can clearly see out into the ocean that way. And then lastly, this photo right here that gives a really close-up look at the debris right there. Certainly, that's the last thing people want to see, especially given the erosion that we've been reporting out the Outer Banks. But certainly 2 additional houses since we last reported that. Goodness.
So many weather ramifications. Make sure you have the WRAL weather app to keep up to date on the latest forecasts and conditions. And guess what? It's free to download.
All right, time now 8:10. Election season. Mail-in voting for the primary races already getting started. We'll show you some of the key races on your ballot.
Plus, Shadow Watch. Today is Groundhog Day. How winter weather is affecting celebrations in our area today.
Hey, sneak peek, we are going to see a lot of sunshine for it today, and you know what that means. Here's a look at it in Chapel Hill. Some shady spots, but it looks like they're in Chapel Hill. The streets are in pretty good shape. Coming up, we'll show you where there's still some slick spots and when our temperatures finally climb above freezing. .13, it's beautiful across our area right now. Nothing but sunshine as that sun is coming up, looking absolutely gorgeous. Definitely very cold. The coldest temperature at RDU that we've seen since 2022. So make sure that you're bundled up for it. We typically see that when we have snow cover like this. We have clear skies and calm winds. That's a really good recipe for our temperatures to fall really quickly. And that's exactly what we've seen. This is a live look at Chapel Hill where the roads look pretty good, but there are definitely some neighborhood streets like in my neighborhood that are still covered. So you just want to, lay low. We'll see temperatures climbing above freezing by right around lunchtime, and we'll see more melting for it today. But look at that. It's 11 in Cary right now, 14 in Fayetteville, 18 in Goldsboro, 12 at RDU. So walking the dog this morning, it's probably going to be a quick out and in, as cold as it is. But again, by mid-afternoon, we should hit 40 degrees, and with the sunshine, that should feel pretty good, Ken.
Elizabeth, staying on top of road conditions, we're going to show you this live look at I-40 and Fayetteville Road. And I-40 right now, free and clear, but I'm showing this elevated surface right here. This is the exit to the streets at South Point, and you can see the snowy and icy conditions. Many of you will have to contend with that. And if you do, please remember to reduce your speed, increase the distance between your vehicle and the vehicle ahead of you. Avoid any sudden movements. Take those turns gradually. And by all means, please clear off all the snow from your hood and trunk.
Well, we have so many risks with this weather. Between last weekend's ice storm and this weekend's snowstorm, we have been putting out the word about the dangers of falling into a frozen pond or lake. 2 separate incidents happened during the same weekend, and WRAL's Carly Haynes is live in Cary near a pond where one of the incidents happened. Carly, you kind of have the interview of the day. This man saving a boy, he's a hero.
Absolutely. And our meteorologists have said anything under 3 inches of ice is enough for somebody to fall through. And we're standing in front of the pond where this happened. You can see where that ice is a little bit thinner from where that boy fell through. Neighbors tell us that this pond freezes every year when it gets cold enough. According to Cary Police Department, the 10-year-old was exploring the pond around noon on Sunday when he fell in. A neighbor happened to be watching through their kitchen window. He ran outside to try to rescue the boy, but then he fell into the lake himself. Both were in icy water up to chest level deep for an adult.
I couldn't get him out. I tried like 3 times and he couldn't get out. And so I was trying to take advice. I was telling him to stay calm because I was starting to panic, and I was like, stay calm, stay calm. And then we started hearing the EMTs and the ambulance come. As soon as I heard that, man, it was like, you hear them all the time and you appreciate everything they do. But when you're on this side of it, man, it's like on a whole nother level.
The 2 were in the water for less than 5 minutes. They are expected to be okay, but this came a day after a very similar incident that happened at a pond in Holly Springs in which an 11-year-old boy fell through that ice. He was in the water for more than 3 minutes. He is also expected to be okay. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Some scary news there. Well, search and rescue teams in Arizona are looking for Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie's mother after she was reported missing. Nancy Guthrie was last seen shortly before 10 p.m. Saturday. Law enforcement officers contacted local hospitals, but none reported having a record of her being admitted. Authorities say they don't know if foul play is a factor, but they are not ruling it out. Sentencing is set to begin tomorrow for Austin Thompson. He pleaded guilty last month to killing 5 people in Raleigh's Hedingham neighborhood shooting in 2022. He also pleaded guilty to 2 attempted murder charges and 3 for assault. Thompson was 15 years old when he went on a shooting rampage in that neighborhood. His 16-year-old brother was shot by him, and then he also shot an off-duty police officer. Those were just a few among the several killed. Since Thompson was a teenager when the shooting happened, a judge has to determine if he is eligible for parole. WRAL will have live coverage as sentencing plays out on TV and online.
Well, mail-in voting for North Carolina's March 3rd primary elections is already underway, and candidates endorsed by elected leaders such as President Trump and Democratic Governor Josh Stein face competition to win the nomination. Races for seats in Congress, the state legislature, and more are on the ballot. President Trump is backing Michael Whatley in the crowded race for the GOP nomination for the U.S. Senate seat. That Senate seat also includes a race by former Governor Roy Cooper. Stein is hoping to oust a longtime Democratic State House member, choosing to support her Democratic challenger. Our NC Capitol team has a breakdown of races to watch on WRAL.com.
Punxsutawney Phil's decision is in. He's saying 6 more weeks of winter. Phil made his appearance this morning. There he is in Pennsylvania, and he saw his shadow. That means he expects winter weather will stick around. Thousands of people were at Gobbler's Knot to welcome Phil. Local records show Punxsutawney Phil has been right about 39% of the time since the tradition began in 1887.
Well, the Outer Banks saw record-breaking snow and snow drifts measured in feet, not inches, but was it a blizzard? Well, meteorologist Chris Michaels is here now to break down the specific criteria and if that's what really happened in the Ask the Met segment. Hey, Chris.
Hey there, Ken. Yeah, so there's actually a lot that goes into there being a blizzard, right? It's not just snow, but that's obviously a part of it, right? So you have to have snow either falling or blowing, wind speeds sustained or gusting frequently at least 35 miles per hour, visibility under a quarter mile, and all that lasting at least 3 hours. They obviously saw the snow, the purple and the pink showing where there was a foot or more. First time in the Outer Banks since 1989. In Newport, 15 inches of snow. That's more than Spokane, Washington has seen all season long, and it's pushing there toward Philly and New York and what they've seen all season. The wind gusts had those along the Outer Banks. You see that from Kitty Hawk to Rodanthe, Beaufort to Nags Head, Duck to Oregon Inlet. Those gusts around 35 to 60 miles per hour. But the one thing they didn't have was the visibility under a quarter of a mile, at least at some of the weather recording stations. So technically not a blizzard, although it felt like it to the folks at the National Weather Service office there. You can hear from them in this full interview on WRAL.com. Elizabeth?
And Chris, that was a great interview that you did yesterday. So I highly encourage people to go and check that out. Let's take a look at what we're seeing now after our storm has moved through. The cold air has settled in at least for one more day. So we have a cold weather advisory again out this morning. Roads continue to be an issue. And then we're going to change things up a little bit. We'll have the chance of some rain, which we'll talk more about coming up in about 30 minutes. This is a live look at Zebulon. Of course, the front lawn here of the beautiful town hall is covered in snow, but the driveway looks like it's been plowed and the parking lot looks good. You're going to continue to see varying conditions across our area. When we have a snow cover like that, clear skies and calm winds, we tend to see temperatures dropping rapidly. 12 degrees right now. We haven't seen a temperature of 12 degrees since way back at Christmas Eve of 2022. This is a look at our temperature and wind chill. The winds have died down pretty much in most places, but it does feel like 8 in Fayetteville and 4 in Goldsboro. With these cold temperatures, you may wonder, well, what's our record cold? Our all-time record cold was -5, and of course, we haven't been close to that. We take a look at our wind chill, likely to feel like 20 23 at lunchtime and 36 or 7 later on this afternoon. We do climb to around 40 degrees this afternoon, and with sunshine, that should continue to help the melting situation out there. We hit freezing right about lunchtime, and of course today is Groundhog Day, and we talked about it. Punxsutawney Phil saw a shadow, and the folklore says 6 more weeks of winter. But I thought that I would take a look scientifically at what we might see, starting with the next couple of weeks between now and February 15th. This is a look at a climate model. It's a long-range model that's run by the Climate Prediction Center, and for the next 8 to 16 days, we're looking at below average temperatures. But then looking a little bit farther down the road, this is again just a look at February, March, and April averaged together, and it shows above average. I mean, typically as we get into March and April, temperatures are going to warm up, but we may kind of flip the switch there and see temperatures above the average. 32 is our normal low. We do hit 35 Wednesday morning, and that means the rain that we end up seeing overnight Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning should be all rain. But we're watching for a little mixed wintry precipitation for Wednesday night. We'll take a closer look at that coming up. Looking at cold afternoon highs, nowhere near normal, not just for the next 5 days, but really all the way through the 7-day forecast. Ken?
All right, staying on top of those road conditions, we're going to start in Durham with this I-40 and Fayetteville Road. You can see nothing but pavement on I-40, but really and truly, these exit ramps are a situation where you're looking at snowy, icy conditions. So keep that in mind as you get ready to head out this morning.
All right, Ken, thank you. Well, coming up, conserving energy. 5 on your side will explain ways you can help keep usage down as Duke Energy warns of rolling outages. We'll be right back.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is 8:26. I'm Keely Arthur. Let's get it straight over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Hi, Elizabeth.
Good morning. It is cold out there. You probably didn't need me to tell you that, but you probably want to know how cold. Coldest since we've seen way back in 2022. This is a live look at Wilson. The whirligigs are spinning very lightly, but we haven't had too much of a wind chill today. Lots of snow at the Whirligig Park, but it looks like the streets around it are fairly clear. That 12 degrees we haven't seen, like I said, since 2022. Fortunately, not much wind chill, just a couple of places. Fayetteville feels like 8, and it feels like 4 in Goldsboro. So if you're sending the kids out to play, make sure they are well bundled up. We do see temperatures above freezing by noon, and we'll climb to 40 degrees this afternoon with that sunshine. We should see some more melting, Ken.
Elizabeth, staying on top of road conditions, all of our major routes are clear, as you can see here from I-40 and Wade Avenue, and that's what we're seeing for the most part, and which is leading to very little to no delays on any of the major routes coming into the Raleigh-Wade County area. Just a 1-minute delay if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, and I-40 westbound. I-87, just a 1-minute delay as well. But US 1 coming in out of Apex, I-40 eastbound. You're coming from Wake Forest and US 1, Capitol Boulevard, if you will, delay-free at this hour. Another update on your road conditions at the bottom of the hour on Fox 50.
Duke Energy wants you to help conserve energy this morning as it faces what could be the highest energy demand of this season. Utility customers are asked to reduce their energy use until 10 a.m. And every school district in our area is either closed or remote today. Wake County schools, Durham Public Schools closed. Southern counties opting to go remote. Cumberland and Harnett County schools. Next on Fox 50, we are tracking icy conditions as you step out this morning. And coming up on today, one-on-one with Keke Palmer on her new starring role.
Anything that melted yesterday is solidly frozen.
We're staying on top of these road conditions around the triangle.
You can see some of the slick conditions that we continue to see on these secondary and side roads here.
Flights getting back on track today after lots of cancellations over the weekend.
You can see this icy, snowy spot. A 10-year-old boy was exploring the pond around noon Sunday when he fell in.
Definitely not go anywhere near anything that's frozen or on anything that's frozen.
Yeah, such a scary situation that this past weekend, 2 incidents near those frozen bodies of water.
A miracle.
Oh my
no
goodness.
one has been
Quick
more
thinking.
severely injured or killed.
Hey, we're so glad you're staying with us here at 8:30 on Fox 50. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Keely Arthur. Thank you so much for joining us. The weather remaining the big story of the day. Let's get it right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. The big story right now, the cold.
Yeah, the weather alert day includes the fact that the cold temperatures have kept everything slick and snowy in some places, especially neighborhood roads. And our temperatures have dipped into the teens, and we've had some single-digit wind chills. Kids are out of school today, and so they'll be out trying to play again. Make sure you warn your kids before they go out roaming in the neighborhood that they should never step on frozen ice on any sort of body of water. Winter weather advisory is going to expire here probably in an hour or so, and it's here because of the cold temperatures, not because of any additional precipitation that we saw. Cold weather advisory also in effect until around 9 o'clock this morning for these very cold temperatures. Here's a live look at Wilson. A lot of snow, 6 to 7 inches of snow in Wilson. But you know, they've gotten the roads right around downtown, right around the Whirligig Park, all plowed, and it looks great. Right now it is 12 degrees in the Triangle, but fortunately the wind has died down, so it just feels like 12. However, it does feel like 8 in Fayetteville and 4 degrees in Goldsboro. It is Groundhog Day. We climb above freezing by lunchtime, and we'll see a high this afternoon of around 40 degrees. Lots of sunshine means lots of melting, but does it mean 6 more weeks of winter? We'll take a look. Ken?
The big question is, but we're staying on top of road conditions here in the WRAL Traffic Centers. We'll give you a live look at I-40 and on the Fayetteville Road exit. This is the exit to the streets at South Point. You can see nothing but pavement on I-40, but on those entrance and exits ramps, we're still seeing a little bit of snowy conditions, particularly on those roads we'll get to in a little bit in neighborhoods. Here's a look at I-40 and Wade Avenue. Again, those major routes are really free and clear of any snow and ice, but it's those neighborhood roads where we're seeing the real troubled spots. Let's check in with Laura Levine, photographer Mark Alexic, in the WRAL Storm Tracker. You guys are on a neighborhood just off Ridge Road. What do you see?
Yeah, Ken, we've been staying pretty much in this neighborhood, driving around, and we really haven't found a spot uncovered with just the snow and ice that you see here. I mean, these roads are really, really slick. We've been just taking our time, even in the WRAL Storm Tracker, navigating some of these secondary and side roads here in this neighborhood. I mean, snow and ice completely covering the area. In some spots, it's really hard to even determine the difference between some surfaces, some lawns compared to the street here. So something to be mindful of when you wake up, because this isn't the only place, obviously, that we've seen this. We've seen this in the Village District and several other communities around Glenwood Avenue as we've been making our way in the storm tracker around Raleigh. So, of course, the main road's looking pretty good here, but it's the secondary roads, the side roads that you really want to be mindful of, Ken.
Oh, absolutely. And if you're leaving the house this morning, leave the house a little sooner than usual just to be on the safe side. We all did. Now, coming in terms of major routes into the Raleigh-Ray County area, very little to no delays. Sort of a 1-minute delay if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County on I-40. A 1-minute delay if you're coming in on I-87 out of Knightdale. And really and truly, US 1 coming in from Wake Forest, coming in from Apex, I-40 eastbound, all delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Well, the concern of slick and icy conditions extends far beyond our roadways. As you head outside, there are some other dangers you need to watch out for. WRAL's Allie Cadlabar is live in Raleigh this morning. Allie, you are bundled up, and you've been saying that people's risk of injury really multiplies when we have weather conditions like this.
And that's what UNC health officials tell us, Keely, is that especially on sidewalks like this where it's snow, it's powdery, you can see powdery snow, easier to walk on, but you just never know when you're going to hit a slick spot. And that's what UNC health officials want people to be aware of. They say that they've seen an increase in winter weather related injuries, especially over the past 2 weeks. They've been very busy. They say that car crashes, slips and falls, and injuries from sledding has been common in their ERs.
We often see sport-related injuries, but I think more people are prepared for them. But now we're seeing people going out and sledding when doing a sport they probably normally would wear a helmet, but they're not.
And so, yeah, if you're going out sledding, it may be fun, but wear some protective gear like a helmet. Also, just make sure you have a clear path ahead of you. Watch your step if you're going outside. Make sure you're taking it slow. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Well, every school district in our area are either closed or on a remote learning day. Every school district this is how a video from the Avery'sburg Elementary in Garner yesterday. Snow covering practically everything in sight. Wake County schools, Durham Public Schools closed today. Many other districts like Johnston and Orange County schools closed as well. Farther south, several districts opted for remote learning day, including Cumberland and Harnett County schools. Well, you can find a full list of closings, including businesses, on our website. Just go to WRAL.com.
Duke Energy officials say this morning could bring the highest demand of the season as extreme cold settles in our region. The combination of bitter cold temperatures and heavy morning heating demand is creating a brief but very critical window. So the utility is asking customers to cut back on electricity use between now and 10 a.m. to help prevent even more strain on the grid. Officials say even some small steps could help avoid temporary rolling outages. We have a news article on the ways you can reduce your energy output, written by me, on WRAL.com. Just go to 5 on your side.
So listen, police are warning about the dangers of falling into frozen ponds after 2 separate incidents in the same weekend this past weekend. Let's get to WRAL's Carly Haynes live in Cary, where one of those incidents happened. And Carly, quick thinking by neighbors.
And this boy was fortunate that somebody was watching it happen because this water is deep. It's up to chest level. This is the pond where it happened, and you can see that area where the ice is a little bit thinner because that boy had fallen through. Our meteorologists have said it does not take much, only about 3 inches or less of ice on water for somebody to fall through. Neighbors tell us this pond freezes every year when it gets cold enough. According to the Cary Police Department, the 10-year-old was exploring the pond around noon on Sunday when he fell in, and a neighbor happened to be watching through their kitchen window. So they ran outside to try to rescue the boy, but they fell through that ice as well.
I would definitely not go anywhere near anything that's frozen or on anything that's frozen, unless it's like a real ice hockey rink. But when you're on this side of it, man, it's like on a whole nother level.
Now, the two were in the water for about 5 minutes. They are expected to be okay, but this happened just a day after a very similar incident happened in Holly Springs, where an 11-year-old boy fell through the ice into the water. He was in the water for a little more than 3 minutes, but fortunately, he's also expected to be okay. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Cary.
Yeah, let those 2 near misses be your warning sign. Do not go on the ice. DOT crews are working to clear the snow off major routes, especially on coastal communities. From the Outer Banks to the southern beaches, communities saw double-digit snow totals. Crews cleared most of the major roads yesterday, and today they'll turn their attention to the heavily traveled secondary routes like US 70. A DOT spokesperson says the concern is that anything that melts yesterday could have refrozen overnight.
So that early morning time, that is very important that we keep traffic off these roads and bridges because they will refreeze. It will lead to accidents. So again, putting out the message to stay home until we can get these routes in a good condition.
The DOT says it could take several days to get many of the roads back to safe driving condition.
Hey, Keely, let's head out to the coast to kind of show something else that we've been talking about this morning. These 2 reported house collapses that happened since we reported about the last collapse that happened the other day. These are sent to us from Donnie Bowers, where you can see clearly the debris there. And if you look between these 2 structures here, you can also see the ocean right out in that way. Let me show you a different photo here from a different perspective, where, again, you see a lot of this debris at these 2 homes that collapsed. And then lastly, let me show you the final picture here. Right here from this perspective, you get a really close-up look at the damage there. I've been trying to look at the different social media pages of maybe some of the elected officials over there. Haven't had any luck trying to find someone kind of reacting to what's going on here. But this is a scene that we have reported about extensively. I believe we're up to now, I think it's 30 homes that have collapsed there since 2020. It's a significant amount.
Significant amount. Well, listen, make sure you have the WRAL weather app to keep up to date on the latest forecasts and conditions. And keep in mind, it's free to download.
Moving on to some national news. Right now, the government is partially shut down. Yeah, you heard that right. This week, the House is expected to vote on a funding bill to reopen the government. The Senate passed a spending agreement last week, but the deal isn't finalized until the House votes tomorrow, Tuesday. The agreement funds most federal agencies through September, but not the Department of Homeland Security. And here's why. DHS funding would only be funded for 2 weeks. The time would give lawmakers a chance to negotiate reforms to the agency's immigration enforcement operations known as ICE.
All right, looking back to this weekend, the snow was not exactly typical of North Carolina. We'll show you why that's the case, what states it was typical of, and what one of our teammates has done to get rid of it. Coming up in a few minutes.
All right, as we head to break, I want to give you a live look at the DBAP. You can see the infield there covered with the tarp, but also covered with a little bit of snow that fell over the weekend. Cold weather advisory still in effect. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner explaining how long the cold stays bitter. And the one day this week we'll see a morning with temperatures above freezing. How about that?
8:44. Let's start with a live look at Fayetteville. Definitely a lot of trees here on Hay Street, and so you can see some shaded areas are still covered in snow and ice. Now, of course, Hay Street is nice and flat, so as long as you're going nice and slow, you'll be fine. But this is just an example of what you could run into. A lot of the roads are looking just fine. The ones that aren't, especially neighborhood streets, will see a warm up to 40 degrees and lots of sunshine, so that will help. But it is a cold start this morning. Temperature 12 in Durham and Raleigh. It feels like 8 in Fayetteville and 4 in Goldsboro. It feels like 17 in South Hill. Starting to warm up just a little bit, but it's going to take some time. We don't climb above freezing until right around lunchtime, and then eventually at 40. So I imagine the gym's going to be pretty packed for today. Anybody who wants to do exercise, it's pretty tough to do it outside. Ken, yesterday I tried to take a walk in my neighborhood, and it was so slippery. It was really tough.
Absolutely. That's what we're seeing on those neighborhood roads, those icy, slippery conditions as well. Oh boy, all the major routes like I-40, Avon Ferry, really delay-free, free and clear. But if you have to navigate those snowy, icy conditions this morning, here's some things you want to keep in mind. Make sure you reduce your speed, increase that distance. No sudden movements. Make sure you're making turns gradually. And by all means, please clear all of the snow off your vehicle so it does not blast somebody coming behind you.
Yeah, you can get a ticket if you do that. Well, the 68th Annual Grammy Awards feature powerful performances, preaching on politics, and some big wins. David Daniel has some of the biggest moments from that night.
Bad Bunny, debí tirar más fotos.
An overwhelmed Bad Bunny warmed up for the Super Bowl by accepting 3 Grammys, including Album of the Year.
I'm going to say, Eyes Out. We don't hate them. We love our people. We love our family. And that's the way to do it, with love.
Immigration was also on the minds of Song of the Year winners Billie Eilish and Phineas.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
And Best New Artist winner Olivia Dean.
I guess I want to say I'm up here as a granddaughter of an immigrant. I'm a product of bravery, and I think those people deserve to be celebrated.
Jelly Roll celebrated Jesus after winning a trio of trophies.
Jesus is for everybody. Jesus is not owned by one political party. Jesus is not owned by no music label. Jesus is Jesus, and anybody can have a relationship with him.
Talk about a trailblazer.
A lengthy in memoriam segment featured Reba McEntire's first ever Grammys performance. And all-star tributes to Ozzy Osbourne and to D'Angelo and Roberta Flack.
I feel like making love. Kendrick Lamar!
The night's biggest winner was Kendrick Lamar with 5 awards, including Record of the Year, giving him 27 lifetime, passing Jay-Z as the Grammy's most awarded rapper.
So I appreciate y'all. God is the glory. Love y'all.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, let's take a look at what is trending: punches thrown on the ice in Florida.
My goodness, and fumbles at the Grammy Awards that David Daniels just reported on. Of course, that's trending this morning, but we're going to start with hockey. Well, the Stars showed out last night in the NHL Stadium Series game. The Tampa Bay Lightning dressed up as the football Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And not to be outdone, the Boston Bruins players dressed like Revolutionary War players. That was before the two sides squared off at Raymond James Stadium.
Well, that is pretty exciting. The Grammy Awards were last night, and more specifically, Cher for flubbing her role, as a presenter.
Yeah, take a look at this.
Before you go, Cher. Cher, before you go, could we get you to announce the nominees?
Oh!
I feel like that's Cher. Maybe she did a morning show shift. Sometimes you forget things when you're working long hours. Well, the icon Cher was set to present the award for Record of the Year, but had to be called off as she walked away. She also forgot to open the envelope before announcing the wrong name, Cher.
Yeah.
Cher's usually very on the ball. Yeah. She said to Luther Vandross, but the award was actually meant to go to Kendrick Lamar. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. He and SZA had a song called Luther.
Oh,
so that's probably why.
Yeah,
she
isn't Luther Vandross
he
deceased?
Passed away back in 2005. I know. God bless her. But as we say in the South, bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
Yeah. But look, it's tough to get all snow in North Carolina, right? But this snow, well, it was a little different.
Yeah. Meteorologist Chris Michaels shows us why this snow is more similar to what you get in states like Wyoming, Montana, and I'm just going to say, Chris, a little bit of Wisconsin.
A little bit of Wisconsin. Yeah, we got a little bit of the north down here, especially because of the type of snow, right? So this is a really cool shot from Jenny Lynn and Hope Mills of these snow needles. Now, yeah, you definitely have different kinds of flakes. The dendrites, the ones that they look like the ones you would cut in elementary school, those are good accumulators, as are these needles. It's almost like playing a game of Tetris, but they form under very certain temperatures much like we had Saturday in the teens and 20s. So because of that, all we had was 2.9 inches of snow at RDU, which if it were to melt would be 0.18 inches of rain. So that equates to what we would call a 16-to-1 ratio. Basically, for every inch of liquid precipitation, it would be 16 inches of snow, whereas it's usually about a 10-to-1, which is a little wetter, a little heavier. This was nice and light and fluffy, so much so that Amy Wilmoth was blowing off the snow off the roof of her car. This is great stuff here. I saw a lot of people doing that, actually. So blowing it off the roof of the car, and then some folks were getting really creative in Charlotte with it and measuring the snow in Bojangles boxes. Folks in Western Boulevard, if you're listening, 4-piece Supreme.
That's right. We've shown this enough times this morning. How about that Bojangles ad? But brilliant idea, though. So cute. Of course, they put the camera on time lapse there in Charlotte, and it made it all the way up to 9 inches. I don't know if they had intended to see those Bojangles boxes get completely covered, but boy, did they. And of course, we had some snow. We were happy to see it, even though it wasn't quite as much as that. Watching the next system heading our way, we have this cold front's going to swing through overnight tomorrow night and then stall below us and maybe come back to the north during the evening on Wednesday with another round of some precipitation. This one will be a weaker system. It won't be as cold. We're going to see some light rain here on Tuesday night into early Wednesday, and it may be some snow up to the north. So we're going to start things off right around 5 o'clock on Tuesday. We'll see mainly cloudy skies. By 10 or 11, we begin to see some scattered showers roll through. And then this new run of the computer model is doing something slightly different. Instead of moving this out pretty quickly, it stalls it to our south, develops a low along that front, and helps to kick a little bit of more moisture back in. So this shows the moisture lingering into early Wednesday, and then some colder air starting to catch up to it. Now, we all know that cold air catching up to rain already in place is not a good snowmaking pattern for us here. So we'll watch what the models are doing with this. It doesn't look like we would see any accumulation, at least just yet. But right now we're looking at maybe a little wintry mix as that system heads back out of here. So going with a 40% chance on Wednesday, and we'll continue to watch that chance, watch that chilly air and that precipitation rain and its interaction. All right, a quarter of an inch of total precipitation for Fayetteville and Goldsboro over the next 5 days, and just a tenth of an inch north of that. So we really need some rain. We're not going to really get much of it. We didn't see that much of liquid, as Chris was just telling us, over the weekend. We won't see that much with this system either. So our drought monitor remains at severe drought, and over the last month, we've seen anywhere from about 35 to 50% of our normal rainfall. Looking ahead, it doesn't look like that changes. Between now and the middle of February, we'll see either normal or below normal chances for normal precipitation, I should say. All right, taking a look at our 7-day forecast, looking at chilly temperatures into the weekend. Keely?
What's normal anymore, Elizabeth? Thank you. Before we go to break, here's a look at your winning lottery numbers. We're going to get another check on weather and traffic just after the break. Stay with us.